Now I'm going to answer a hard yet simple question. How to actually do things. Now, when I'm referring to things, I'm talking about good habits. I'm talking about reading, working out, studying, and meditating. I'm going to explain how to actually do these habits and how to actually be consistent. But before I answer that question completely, let me give you a question. Out of these two things that are right next to you, what are you most likely going to pick up and use? Is it A, a phone, or B, a book? Think about it for a couple of seconds. What do you think? 99.9% of you are going to say the phone. And if you say the book, either you're a scholar or you're lying. Now, why the phone? Phone, you can get more dopamine out of it, and there's more things you can do on the phone. You can text your friends, call your friends, play games, watch videos, anything. Well, the book you can only read. So why read the book when you could go on the phone and do all this other stuff? How about we put this phone in another room, or even across the room? Somewhere even locked away. What are you most likely going to use? Most likely is still the phone. There's still a high chance you're going to use the phone. But the chance of you reading the book also skyrocketed from that simple thing. Here's the first to help you do thing. Make the task you want to do easier and the task you don't want to do harder. Now, simply put, let's just say you want to study. Instead of going like, I'm going to read 12 pages of this textbook today. And if I don't, I have to do 12 pages tomorrow on the other 12 pages I have to do tomorrow. I'll have to do 24 tomorrow. And you keep on adding 12, 12, 12 if you don't do it. Now, what's most likely going to happen at the end? You're going to end up like at 760 pages. You're going to say, man, I'm going to do this all today. But you're not. You're making the task progressively harder and harder to do because you're adding more and more to it. Why do you think you can do 760 pages when you can't do 12? So then what do? You just make the task easier. If you can't do 12 pages, you really tried and you can't do it, make it smaller. You don't have to go big. You don't have to go high. If you can't do 12, go down to 6. Do something you can do and slowly progress. I could be doing 6 pages every day. And next week go like, I'm going to do 12. I'm going to try 12. And remember, if you fail at 12, you can always go back to 6. Make the task easier to do so you can actually stay consistent and do it. And also you can make the task easier by making it more convenient to do or easier to do. For example, reading. If I want to read a book, I would have the book next to me on the nightstand, on the desk. I would not have the book somewhere in a different room, across the room away from me, or somewhere up here I can't really get because I will most likely not do it because it's harder for me to go do the task, even though it is just like 2 seconds of walking across the room to pick it up, 1 second of reaching over there. Because that 1 second, you're not gonna do the task. It's that simple. We're that lazy. But if you have it right next to you, not a negative second. Not really a negative second, but it's much easier to pick up, so you're most likely going to do it. So make the task easier to do. And for making the task harder, have whatever, like your phone, if that's distracting you from whatever you're doing, have it in a different room, have it across from the room somewhere, have it locked in the drawer, have it so it's harder to get, harder to use, so you wouldn't do it. And if you think about it like that, most tasks you're going to realize were too hard for you to do, and you're going to realize some tasks you didn't want to do and that you're like struggling to beat were so easy to do. And if you change it up, switch them around, make the task you don't want to do harder, the task you want to do easier, it becomes way more easier to handle and do. The next thing, how to actually do things, is make your goals reasonable. Now, most of the time when I see people do things, they make the goal very unreasonable to do. Like what I brought up before with reading 12 pages and you add on those 12 pages to 12 pages you gotta do the next day. That's unreasonable because you can't do 12 pages one day, so you can't do 24. It's just not gonna happen. And so many people do this because they don't want to start out low because they think they're better than that. Why should I start out with only doing like below average? Why should I start out something lower when I could probably do something higher? Like what's the point? So they go with something higher and they can't do that. And it keeps on trying to do that. It's like you're not gonna do it. So go lower. It's unreasonable for you to do this. So do something that's reasonable for you to do. Now let me give you a more personal example. I did this with working out, especially. I would sit there, go one day, man, I did nothing. Tomorrow I'm gonna go work out for like 30 minutes at least. I'll go try to work out for 30 minutes at least. Guess what happens? I would sit there on my phone. I'll be on. I would sit there, be listening to music, do one set, be like, okay, let me look through something real quick. Then I would sit there for a longer time, and then be like, oh, I gotta go back to working out. I gotta go back, and I would constantly keep on doing that. And something that would take me 30 minutes took me an hour and a half, and I didn't even complete the full thing. Only did technically like 14 minutes of working out, and the rest it was just doing whatever else. So it was unreasonable for me to think that I can do 30 minutes. I can work out for 30 minutes when I did nothing the day before and nothing all the times before. So I had to start lower. I start maybe 10 minutes. Even if I couldn't do 10 minutes, maybe I have to do just 10 push-ups in one day. At least you did it, and it's something you can do, and slowly you can progress. Slowly it can be, and most of the time when I say progress, there's no real standard of me going on next week, I'll start doing this. You can do that, but most likely it's just you just start doing more. Things that were become unreasonable will slowly just become reasonable, and you just start doing them. So when you're thinking about goals to do, think about what action you're doing. Is there something reasonable that you're gonna do, and think about, is it a reasonable time, and think about if it's literally something you have in your ability to do and not something impossible. Now the last thing to answer the whole question is rewards. Now when I'm talking about reward, I'm talking about giving yourself something because you did the habit. Because most likely you're not going to see any improvement in the short term at all, and that's what most likely discourages most people. They sit there, they go to the gym, and they don't see any progress for a month, so they stop because they're like, well, I'm not getting anything out of this. I don't see myself getting a little bit bigger, so this is obviously not working. I'm gonna stop. And it's true. Most likely in the first month you can see much growth, or sometimes you see no growth. That's important to keep yourself, give yourself rewards to help you stay in it. So you can see, like for example, let's just say there's a sale going on and you want to buy this game that's on sale. How about make yourself go to the gym every single day for a week or 5 days, whatever. Make yourself go do this habit, and if by the end of the week you actually do it, you can go buy yourself that game. Okay, go buy it, whatever. Or you can say, oh, since I read, I can go watch TV. It can be literally right after. You can just wake up, say, I'm gonna read for 30 minutes, and then I can watch TV. And that's what you can do. Reward yourself for the actions you're doing. That'll keep you more motivated to stay in and do those actions, so you can get consistent and develop discipline. So then you can do these actions without having to need a reward, because the reward is you doing the action. Now with all that said, and with all those 3 pieces of advice, how does that answer the question of doing things easier? It answers the question by giving you the pieces you need to actually do them, to actually do the action, actually do the good habits, to actually read, to actually work out, to actually study. It helps you do those actions. But at the very end, you just need to set your mind to it and need to have the willpower, the mindset to do those actions, because those advice could help you. Those things that help you really do those actions way better, way easier, way more efficient. But at the end of the day, if you don't, just sit there, make yourself wake up and see that you want to do those actions. Thank you for watching, and I hope any of this helps you on your journey of self. And if there's anything else you want to add, anything that you disagree with, or anything that you wish I added, you can always write that down in the comments. I'm here to help you learn. You're here to help me learn too. Anyway, love your mama, and see you in the next video.